All right, bros. Hey, you guys. Hope you was doing good, dudes. Well, I went to get chemo again today, and we did some tests. It was about a few weeks ago. And wasn't good. Uh, I lightened up a little bit on my chemo, and cancer spread into my right lung too. It took up my chest. It got big again, and the cancer in my liver got big again. So it a hell of a setback, man. But all we can do is just keep trying, keep pushing. That's all we can do. So that's what we will do. Not gonna quit. Ain't got no options. But that's what's happening. All this. Just to have to do it again. It's spread it. Well, just had my left line of my liver. And now I got it in the right line as well. Went to my lung doctor back a few months ago. Yeah, he told me he thought I did, and I thought I had pneumonia and sepsis. I figured that scarred my lungs up, and wasn't the case. It spread. So we're gonna play both servers, bros. I'm not gonna have to try to catch us up, but that's the deal, bros. It spread, and it spread. Nothing you can do about it, but but keep going. What's so bad is that I've spent all this time.
Autopilot mode enabled.
I've spent all this time, man, and now I want to start over again. Very disappointing.
Action stations.
I'm gonna lie, it is. Or breaking your eye does. Well, no need to lie about it. I have. It's enough to make you cry, bro.
Awaiting instructions.
When you buckle down and you push, bros. I'm not giving up whatsoever. It's not in me to give up. What is in me is to keep pushing. I'm going to try to get this. I doubt that I do. I'm going to try. It's got two more to do. This one, two more. We might be able to. I really doubt it, but. we have we had the test server going.
Enemy force detected.
I want the tokens.
Enemy cruiser sighted. Spotter airborne. Enemy battleship detected. Cruiser sighted. Autopilot mode disabled.
That's what happened today. Got my test results back. He did, straight up. I got terrible sick. Had to leave that hospital.
Spotter returning.
So. Decided to leave. But I was doing good until
Dead ahead.
I was inadequate in my test. And,
Torpedoes direct front.
still working, doing good. Because we already had such good results. I was all for that.
The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
I did okay. Double check again. No bad. Really bad. And so then we last time to take it
Enemy battleship sunk.
like a week or so ago. My gas was really high, dangerously high that I couldn't, low that is, I couldn't make it. And I got to see him today. And we went over my test results and straight up of the story, no getting around it.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Got better. My right ones. My lever got better as well. I'm stage 4 most. There's not going to be no miracle cure for me. You have to get it down so we can defensively keep it dead out there. So, yep. You can't get that. I don't know. But I give up. I'm not hopeless. I don't feel there's any reason to give up. I won't give up. I've got medicine at the right dosage to get out of me. Right now I'm still taking the injection. That's what's so bad. Makes bad is gonna have to fight it back down again. Got enough injection. Totally gross. I don't think it hurts whatsoever. It has nothing to do with anything like that. I totally trust. I don't. Really don't.
Our victory is in sight. Enemy battleship foundered.
Trust that man. Trust him on the line. It's that man.
Autopilot mode disabled.
Spotter airborne. Spotter destroyed. Taking the lead. All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
sunny day, bros. I guess we got a. Yeah, we did. So now we can test assess our captured rebels. Now confirm to XP. Okay. There's only 21 hymns. We can use them to build up XP. Wait a minute, darling. As long as we're, I need 2 more of them to be able to get, we need captures and assisted captures. That's
Autopilot mode enabled.
Requesting support. Battle starts.
Hey, sure we want to go capture that shit. Crapola, rather. Meet up together. Okay.
Awaiting instructions.
Autopilot mode disabled.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Torpedoes, direct front.
Enemy cruiser detected.
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Enemy battleship sunk.
Ship is on fire.
Enemy cruiser detected.
Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire.
Enemy battleship sighted.
sir.
Enemy battleship foundered. Our team has taken the lead.
Main turret critically damaged.
Our team has taken the lead.
The ship is on fire.
We've destroyed an enemy battleship.
Problem solved, sir.
I'll be right back, Boots. shelf off my wall, bros, and broke it. So I was done was gluing it. I glued it, so now we just need one more. Yep. Singing. Wait. Up to captures. Captures assist. Let me move this so I can make sure. Let me take my medicine, bros. 9 o'clock. I'll start taking some of it.
Action stations.
Autopilot mode enabled.
That's all we have.
Good luck, everyone.
Awaiting instructions.
Thank you. I owe you one.
Okay. Now, hopefully we can get this one, then we'll go to the test server and try to see what we got. Then we'll go to test server. Hopefully we can capture this without a lot of trouble.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Autopilot mode disabled.
I need support.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Torpedoes to starboard. The ship is on fire. Torpedoes to starboard. Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire.
Our team has taken the lead.
We've destroyed an enemy battleship.
Problem solved, sir.
Enemy battleships.
Our victory is in sight.
Enemy heavily damaged.
Torpedo tubes destroyed.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
P, huh? Got it. 140 something. 38. 38,000. Give me a second, bros. Let me take my medicine. Okay, let's see here what we got. Just gonna have to get that 200,000 ship XP. They're 2 million, I think.
Action stations.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Awaiting instructions.
Enemy force detected. Enemy battleship sighted.
Autopilot mode disabled.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
Ship is on fire! Problem solved, sir. damaged.
Our team has taken the lead.
We've destroyed an enemy battleship.
Our team has taken the lead.
Yeah, we got it fixed, I think. Well, that's a big no. We can do this again here. I know I'll have to, add some. Hang on, Rose, I'm dead anyway. Tell you what we should do, bros. Let's go ahead and go to the test server and see what we can do from there. I think we should. Guess we do have an update. It's going pretty quick, so we'll see what we can do there. We should be able to. Nope, we got a little bit of an update here. That'll be all right. We'll just let it do it. We'll let it do its things, dude. Shouldn't take all that long. It's not got 347, almost a gig, about 5 minutes. I mean, that's the best I know to do is go ahead and do that. Let it, because that's nothing really. Glue on my hands. That's nothing really. So, in all honesty, so it'll take nothing to get that done. Okay. We'll be back, bro, when it's done. We can listen to this stuff, guys, while we're doing this. You know, it won't kill us to watch this, so, or to listen to it rather. So we'll listen to this, dude. Listen to this shit.
I haven't been able to take my eyes off my husband's pants since he tried this morning trick. What happened afterward was unbelievable.
Have you heard about what was that like? A, and B, what's your reaction to the flurry of executive actions and orders that President Trump signed?
Well, first, you can tell that I don't have a lot of hair. I was very happy that it was moved inside. I was not. It was 12 degrees outside on Inauguration Day. I thought I was going to lose fingers and toes and ears. Inside the rotunda was truly incredible. Honestly, I've been in that room hundreds of times. I never even conceived of the fact that we could have 600 people in that room. So it was packed, but it was electric, and everyone was excited. It's an honor to be there. Obviously, only 600 people at such a momentous moment in American history. It was very special. It was an honor to be there. The executive orders are exactly what I was expecting. It's exactly what he told the American people he would do. It's why he got elected. And we've closed the southern border. We're rooting out DEI in the government. We're strengthening the military. We're unleashing U.S. energy. I mean, he's already stopped the war in Gaza, and I guarantee you that Ukraine is going to be at peace in the near future. So these are the things that he told the American people he would do, and this is why they voted for them. I'm getting a lot of questions about the pardons that Trump has issued to the people involved in January 6th. It's important to realize that he pardoned 1,500 plus, but he commuted the sentences for a few dozen. And those commutations, they're still felons. And he did that because some people did things that they should not have done. And they are going to be felons for the rest of their life. Those sentences were commuted. They were not pardoned. And if you don't like that President Trump did that, go talk to the 74 million Americans who voted for him when he said on the campaign trail that he was going to do it. President Trump said dozens and dozens and dozens of times that he was going to do it because the 51 intelligence agents that put their credibility on the line to lie to the American people that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian propaganda. I mean, they lost their security clearances, as they should have. They lied to the American people. They tampered in the election. And then you look at all of the election law changes that the Democrats pushed all over this country to get an advantage. I mean, the people that stormed the Capitol on January 6th were mad because of what the Democrats did. They cheated and they changed the rules. Many of them have been in jail for 4 years. That is accountability. And President Trump has pardoned and commuted sentences. And again, we're moving on. We're going to make this country great. We're going to do everything that the American people want us to do. And like I said, the next 250 years are going to be better than the last.
All right,
I know that you said that the J6 pardons and commutations, you say, hey, he campaigned on that. Critics have said that seems like it's whitewashing history. What do you say to that?
Buckle up, because we're going to get to the bottom of what the nonsense select committee for January 6th. There's a reason that everybody on that committee was pardoned. It's because they were not telling the truth. They were lying to the American people. Look, we all know that what happened on January 6th 4 years ago was bad. It was awful. A number of people assaulted law enforcement. That's unacceptable. But the narrative that the Democrats have had for the last 4 years is not true. It's false. They embellish, they lie, and we're going to show them exactly what happened. We're going to get to the bottom of it, and we're going to find out why President Biden pardoned all of the members of the January 6th committee. And guess what? Because they're pardoned, they don't have an excuse not to come in and testify before us. So we're going to get to the bottom of this, particularly the members that are no longer in office. Expect a subpoena soon.
I'm going to London at April. Do you mean?
I'd say he's dead on the money on that one. Say they better be looking hard for a subpoena, bro. Because I mean, end of the day, this is not over. It's not. Trump's going. They messed up, man. They caused Trump to go after him, bro. What's all they want him to do here?
President.
Senator from Missouri.
Mr. President, there is no right that is more sacred to Americans than the First Amendment right to liberty of conscience, to liberty of worship, to liberty of free expression. These rights, Mr. President, are more than words that are written on a piece of parchment. These rights are solemn commitments that Americans make to one another, commitments that undergird our society, that establish its moral foundation and basis, that testify to the world that we are a society built on liberty, we are a society built on conscience, we are a society built on the right of individuals to follow the call of God on their lives, to respond to that call as they feel led and as they see fit, within, of course, the bounds of the law. These rights, Mr. President, this foundational right to the liberty of conscience, the freedom of religious worship, the freedom to follow and respond to God, this is what establishes us most fundamentally as a free nation. This is what gives us our moral character as a nation. And it is what has defined us as a nation, the largest Christian nation in the world since our founding.
He's decent.
But I have to say, Mr. President, no administration in the history of this country has assaulted these rights more deliberately, more fervently, more grotesquely than the Biden administration. For 4 long years, this administration carried out one persecution after another against people of faith. It started during the COVID era with their shutdowns and lockdowns when they targeted religious communities, evangelicals and Catholics and Orthodox Jews. It continued with their use of statutes to go after Christians and other religious believers who objected to abortion. Mr. President, I want to draw attention today. I want to draw the attention of this body today, to draw the attention of the American people today to the plight of just a few Americans, 20 or more Americans who are in prison even now because of the persecution of the Biden administration, because of their choice to violate that solemn pledge that Americans make to one another, because of their choice to target the First Amendment rights of law-abiding, freedom-loving, peaceful Americans. I'm talking about people like Mark Houck. Mark Houck from Pennsylvania. Here he is with his family at Mass, a man of faith, a man of family, a man of work and commitment and responsibility, whose crime, according to the last administration, was to take one of his young sons to an abortion clinic and there to stand peacefully, to pray, to sing, to engage with those who wanted to talk about the alternatives to abortion. And what did Mark Houck do when a pro-abortionist came and shoved his young son? Mark Houck defended his son. For this, the Biden administration sent a SWAT team, an FBI SWAT team, to his door in the early morning hours. Why? Oh, just to terrorize him, to terrorize these children, to send a message to religious believers and pro-lifers all over this country. Don't you dare exercise your First Amendment rights. Don't you dare speak up in favor of life. Don't you dare take a stand. They took his case all the way to trial, where I'm glad to report he was swiftly acquitted, completely exonerated. But, Mr. President, other Americans have not been so fortunate. I think of Bevelyn Williams. Bevelyn's 33 years old. She's from Tennessee originally. She has a remarkable life story. She started a ministry that specializes in care for the homeless and for those who are living rough on America's streets. This follows from her own incredible personal transformation. She dropped out of high school when she was just 15 years old. She had 2 abortions herself and was later arrested for money laundering. And then she met Jesus Christ, became a Christian, changed her life, decided to dedicate her life to the service of others, to dedicate her life to those like the homeless who have nowhere to turn, to those on the streets who have nowhere to go, and yes, to those mothers who, like she did at a young age, struggled with an unexpected pregnancy, those mothers who felt, as she did at a young age, that there was no hope. And so Bevelyn founded ministries that would reach out to these young women, that would serve these young women. And what did the Biden administration do to her? Because she had the temerity to exercise her First Amendment rights, because she went to an abortion clinic and there sang and prayed and worshiped because she there told women who were coming into the clinic that there really were alternatives, that life didn't have to be this way, because she told her own personal story. She was prosecuted by a federal court and sentenced to 41 months in prison. And what was her supposed crime? She leaned on a doorway in a manner that hurt the hand of a staff member. Let me say that again. She leaned on a doorway in a manner that hurt the hand of a staff member. For this, Mr. President, this amazing African-American woman was sentenced to 41 months in prison. 41 months. I think of Lauren Handy. She's 31 years old. She's from Alexandria, Virginia. Lauren was one of two individuals who in 2022 discovered a box of 115 fetal remains here in Washington, D.C. 115 pieces of remains of aborted babies, a number of them late-term abortions, not permitted to happen under federal law. Babies who had come to term and had been killed, and whose remains had then been put into boxes and discarded like so much common trash. They came to be known as the DC-5. Lauren helped discover them. Lauren also dedicated her life at even her young age to serving mothers in need, to helping those who had no hope. And what was she given in return? In August of 2023, she was prosecuted under the so-called FACE Act. She was sentenced to 57 months in federal prison. 57 months, the longest prison sentence of anyone under this federal statute ever. I think of Jean Marshall, 77 years old, Mr. President, nurse, lifelong nurse from Boston, Massachusetts. In her 30s, she began a ministry using her nursing skills of reaching out to mothers who were dealing with unexpected pregnancies, who did not know where to turn. She took to sidewalk counseling, volunteering her time, standing along sidewalks outside of abortion clinics, peacefully talking to mothers who wanted to talk, helping them find resources, helping them find alternative medical care. She was prosecuted by this last administration for exercising her First Amendment rights for nothing more, Mr. President, than trying to save the lives of unborn children, for calling out, for fulfilling her duty as a nurse to help those in need, for doing what she had been doing for 40 long years. This administration, the Biden administration, took her to court, prosecuted her, and sentenced her to 24 months in prison. 24 months, Mr. President. There's Jonathan Darnell, 42 years old, from Kentucky. He's a former U.S. Army officer. He's a veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom. He started out with a computer science degree and with a promising career in front of him where he could have made a lot of money, but he decided instead to go and wear the uniform of the United States and serve this country. And when he was finished with his service honorably, he decided to go and try to provide resources for those in need, for those experiencing crisis, to try to rescue the innocent unborn and to help their mothers who are in a period of crisis and need. And for this, Mr. President, for his service to this country, for his love for the innocent unborn and the helpless in our society, he was sentenced to 34 months in prison. There's James Zastro from my home state of Missouri, Columbia, Missouri. He's just 27 years old. He was protesting peacefully outside of a Nashville clinic alongside his sister and alongside others, again offering the women who were there alternatives, asking them if they could help in any way. He was given 3 months in prison, followed by 3 years of house arrest and probation. And then there's Eva Adel. Eva's 89 years old, Mr. President. She is a survivor of a concentration camp in Eastern Europe. Her mother was kidnapped by the Soviets right after the Second World War. And then she and her siblings were sent to a communist concentration camp in Yugoslavia. Amazingly, Mr. President, they endured. And the hope and faith that she found in that time led her to come to this country. It led her once here to begin to minister to women who are in crisis. It gave her a passion for the voiceless, a passion for the innocent, a passion for those who had no one to defend them, and none more than the innocent unborn. And so she began years and years of faithful witness to the value of life, to the hope of life, and faithful work in trying to provide for mothers in crisis help and alternatives in medical care. Here's what she was doing when she was arrested. She was singing hymns in a clinic hallway from a wheelchair. That's right. She was arrested for singing hymns in a clinic hallway from a wheelchair. This concentration camp survivor, 89 years old, immigrant to this country, was put in prison, federal prison, by the last administration because she sang hymns from a wheelchair. Mr. President, I cannot begin to express, words do not capture the injustice of what this administration has done. And when you consider who the Biden administration saw fit to pardon while they were prosecuting and persecuting these good Americans, Joe Biden, on his final days in office, commuted the death sentence of one Jorge Alvera Torres, who was convicted of strangling a naval officer in her barracks while he was serving as a Marine in Arlington. He pled guilty later to sexual assault and murder of Laura Hobbs, age 8, of Crystal Tobias, age 9. This is who Joe Biden saw fit to give pardon to. This is who he saw fit to waive the rule of law for. Or there's Caboni Savage, a Philadelphia drug lord who was convicted of killing 12 people, including 4 children. When you look at the disparity, Mr. President, between those this last administration chose to reward and those it chose to persecute, it is hard not to feel anger. To be honest, Mr. President, it is hard not to feel rage. This is a grotesque abuse of the conscience of this country. This is a grotesque assault on the principles of this country. That is why, Mr. President, I have urged President Donald Trump to pardon all of these pro-life prisoners, unjustly persecuted, unjustly targeted, unjustly imprisoned by the corrupt Biden administration. And I do mean corrupt. From a man who used his power illegitimately to pardon his own family, to pardon his own son, to excuse his own kin of wrongful, willful illegalities, who protected drug lords and killers and murderers and kingpins, and yet sent concentration camp survivors to prisons because they spoke up for life. It does not get morally worse than that, morally debased any more than that, Mr. President. And so, this is a time to turn the page. But more than that, this is a time to right a wrong. President Trump can turn the chapter on this dark period of our history. He can right the wrongs that this last administration perpetrated. He can begin to restore the requirements that the conscience of our country puts in front of us. Mr. President, he can again renew the commitment that is found right there in our Constitution. That commitment to honor liberty of conscience, to honor the right to follow God, to live out our faith peaceably, which is exactly what these pro-life prisoners, still prisoners, were doing. And so I urge President Trump, now from this floor, to pardon these Americans unjustly persecuted, unjustly prosecuted, unjustly condemned. I urge him to pardon them and to provide once again the moral clarity and moral leadership for which this country is known, and to provide that moral clarity and moral leadership without which we cannot hope to lead the free world. Mr. President, I yield the floor.
I like old Josh Hawley. He to the point. Let's see what Lauren Ingram
Senator,
got going on here.
if you're unsure or unaware of your eyeglass prescription, or if your prescription changes frequently due to
future is shaped by us, and particularly shaped by us here in this room.
Shaped by us in the room. Warnings of disinformation. Can't make this up. This is the epitome of uninformed arrogance. But he's just another globalist mastodon on the verge of extinction. But still, let's compare the response to Trump at the World Economic Forum in his first term to how he was received today. It was quite something to behold.
Of course, I'm aware that your strong leadership is open to misconceptions and biased interpretations. Therefore, It is so essential for us in the room to listen directly to you.
The importance of American leadership and your personal leadership is fundamental and paramount. We are here to hear your vision and policies related to revitalizing the economy and addressing the global challenges.
Well, so it goes from tolerating Trump at Davos, that first soundbite, to kind of, well, acknowledging grudgingly that he's a force to be reckoned with. It's quite the change in tone. But this morning, Trump treated his Davos appearance kind of like a Zoom call with a message to clueless Klaus.
I'm pleased to report that America is also a free nation once again. On day one, I signed an executive order to stop all government censorship. No longer will our government label the speech of our own citizens as misinformation or disinformation, which are the favorite words of censors and those who wish to stop the free exchange of ideas and, frankly, progress.
It was so refreshing to watch from beginning to end. It was Trump's message stood really in stark contrast to the Davos dimwits on almost every issue. And remember, they are not going to stop fighting as much as they can to destroy gas-powered cars, the entire oil and gas industry.
Our fossil fuel addiction is a Frankenstein monster, sparing nothing and no one. All around us, we see clear signs that the monster has become master.
Lofty rhetoric. But the real monster scenario is found in the world where they have all the power and individuals in free nations are forced to submit. Well, Trump's going to have none of that.
I terminated the ridiculous and incredibly wasteful Green New Deal. I call it the Green New Scam. Withdrew from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord and ended the insane and costly electric vehicle mandate. The United States has the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we're going to use it.
Greenheads were exploding from the Swiss Alps to China. Of course, China is banking on its ability to totally annihilate the American automobile industry by sucking us all into electric vehicles. Now, on trade, Trump was just as blunt.
The EU treats us very, very unfairly, very badly. They don't take essentially don't take our farm products, and they don't take our cars, yet they send cars to us by the millions. They put tariffs on things that we want to do. We have, hundreds of billions of dollars of deficits with the EU, and nobody's happy with it, and we're going to do something about it, but nobody's happy with it.
The agenda is now and always will be America first.
My message to every business in the world is very simple. Come make your product in America, and we will give you among the lowest taxes of any nation on earth. But if you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative, then very simply you will have to pay a tariff.
But it wasn't just business issues tackled at Davos. The gender benders, they're also panicking that they're losing power. Now, who knew it was a global priority to protect drag shows?
What we've enacted is free speech for algorithms, not free speech for citizens. We're seeing an uptick in violence in the United States against LGBTQ people. It's everything from attacks at drag shows to trans women being murdered on the street.
And once again, Trump beamed in and laid waste to that insanity.
My administration has taken action to abolish all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense. America will once again become a merit-based country.
My favorite part, though, was when he chose to address the CEO of Bank of America directly. Now, remember, the bank had shared account holders' information after January 6th and then flat out denied that other conservative businesses' access to their services was even happening. They thought, oh, no, everybody's getting access.
And I don't know if the regulators mandated that because of Biden or what, but you and Jamie and everybody, I hope you're going to open your banks to conservatives because what you're doing is wrong.
Of course, Bank of America claims nothing nefarious ever happened. But the fact is, the globalist titans of industry and politics and media, they gathered at Davos, and they're never going to be comfortable with what Trump represents. They might put on a good act, but never will they accept it. An America that is unapologetic, an America that is bold, an America that's sometimes brash, they don't want that, but too bad. Because Trump has all the momentum. He returned from the political grave to win the presidency, and he is inspiring not just our own citizens, but those seeking a better life across the globe. Now, over the weekend, I had the chance to chat with Italian President Giorgia Meloni and watch the buzz around Argentina's reformer president Javier Milei. I met populist politicians from Sweden, from Poland, and the Czech Republic. All of them are thrilled about our new American president. So 8 years ago, Trump was a speed bump on the way to global control. Today, he's the prophet of pragmatism. We all felt more connected than ever. We all feel more connected than ever, thanks in large part also to social media. Think about it. What on earth would we do without Elon Musk and X? Why do you think the Davos bigwigs are so keen on censorship? Trump's Zoom message to all of them who thought America was on her heels, who profited off the decline of the American worker, is clear. Your schemes to control us, to censor us, to rip us off, to shame us are over. You're officially on notice. And that's the angle. Joining me now, Victor Davis Hanson, Senior Fellow at the Hoover Institution, and Batya Ungar-Sargon, Newsweek Opinion Editor. Victor, let's start with you. What do they fear most at Davos about Trump?
Well, that was very strange because the Davos people that run it, he shredded every one of their most cherished ideas, of open borders, illegal immigration, New Green Deal. He just shredded. I thought their heads were going to explode when he called it the New Green Scam, and he called oil liquid gold. So I thought the questions were going to be so angry. But, I looked at them very carefully after I heard them on the transcript, and Schwartzman and Moynihan, all these international big bankers were kind of like, well, we're not supposed to say this, but are you serious? You're really going to give us liquid natural gas? You're not going to cut it off if the... No. Trump said, no, my word is my bond. I will give it to you. Are you really serious that you're going to encourage investment? And it was almost like what he did with the tech lords on the domestic area. He put, when he got Andreessen and he got Elon and Bezos, and he basically said, I want you to make us rich. Go to it. And they thought, wow, we're not supposed to like this, but it's great. And these bankers were kind of shocked, like, we're Davos people, we're supposed to get angry, but the more we hear this, and I know it's a little over the top, they thought, but it's, wow, he's going to let us make money and we're going to have capitalism free and the United States is going to really back us up and give us all the liquid natural gas we want, and there's going to be, I got the impression that the Davos people that run it were pretty shocked that he won over the people who are asking him the questions, which basically are the world's financiers. I think they're actually secretly happy that he's there, because they understand that he's a capitalist, and he's their capitalist dream.
I just love the fact that he zoomed in. I just treating it like any other office meeting, Batya. That just cracked me up. The screen above the crowd, it was like Charlie's Angels. I thought disembodied voice. But the Spanish Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, he talked about the digital identity wallet, the European digital identity wallet. Let's listen.
We are allowing people to roam freely on social networks without linking their profiles to a real identity. If we must push forward the principle of pseudonymity as the functioning element of social media, and force all these platforms to link every user account to an European digital identity wallet.
Batya, explain what that would be in the age of the new tech world that we live in. What would that be, a digital identity? What's the problem with that?
Sorry, that's not going to fly here. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave. What we just oversaw was the total capitulation of the global elites to Donald Trump. the tribune of the American working class. The same people who have endlessly mocked him and laughed at him and booed him and tried to destroy him are now on their knees, Laura, begging for a scrap of his approval. And the reason for that is what you led with. They are terrified of him because Donald Trump's vision that nation states must exist, that national borders are crucial, and that a nation owes something to its citizens. This view has simply triumphed over their view that you can endlessly pillage the middle class and the working class economically and culturally. They think you measure the health of an economy based on how many private jets a billionaire has, and Trump thinks you measure the health of an economy based on whether that billionaire's cleaning lady and plumber can afford to buy a home. And it's Donald Trump's nationalism that is winning the day, thank God. You love to see it. It is just delicious.
Well, one thing is for sure, Victor. A lot of those elites gathered at Davos, their ideas were responsible for wrecking the world, whether it was foreign policy, nonstop wars, open borders. They're still pushing for unfettered migration and support for migration, the handling of the pandemic, the lies about gain of function. I mean, what haven't they wrecked, frankly, except their own portfolios?
Well, they're suicidal. Europe is suicidal. When the EU was formed, their GDP was almost like ours, and now we're almost double. And they did that through a national collective suicide. But again, I think all of these Davos masters were a little shocked because Donald Trump talked over their heads and he appealed to the innate logic of these capitalist bankers. And he's basically saying, you know, I like you guys, but you don't understand who's your friend and what's in your interest, and it's the MAGA. And I'm here to help you. Join us, because I wouldn't want you to suffer if you don't, and you will suffer, just like you did to yourself. And that's a very powerful argument. I think the Davos shepherds thought that the sheep are going, you know, wandering away from their control to Donald Trump. I think he won a lot of people over, even with that tough talk, and they didn't like it, but the bunkers and the financiers and the international people loved it.
Well, what was hilarious to watch close up was Javier Milei in that St. John Church on Inauguration Day for the service in the morning. You know, people were just flocking to him. And he walked by the vice premier of China, right, who nobody paid any attention to. People were just, Maloney and Milei, people just wanted to be close to. I think we have a soundbite from Javier. Let's watch.
Slowly, what once seemed like the absolute global hegemony of the woke left in politics, educational institutions, in the media, in supranational organizations, or even in forums like Davos, has begun to crumble. And a hope for the ideas of freedom is starting to emerge.
But real quickly on that, I mean, George Maloney, the rest of these populist leaders are the future.
They absolutely are, Laura, and the reason for that is because they love the people that they represent. The elites absolutely hate the working class. They have so much contempt for them. And you can tell when a leader loves the people and serves the people. That is what Donald Trump represents, is this return of service. I am here to represent what the people elected me to do.
Yeah, well, and they'll raise the boogeyman of disinformation and misinformation, as Klaus Schwab has done, and the fact that Trump went right at that today was just music to my ears. I could have watched that all day long. Victor, Batya, both, thank you so much. And coming up, Republicans already have a new campaign ad for, what was it, 2026? We'll share it with you. Can you believe this is only day 4 of Trump 2.0? But it turns out Republicans have already found the new star of their next campaign commercial.
I'm not going back to Haiti. Trump, you feel me? No Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
That has to be fake. It almost sounds fake, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't even, how can that be real? Well, it is. By the way, that Biden fanboy is a Haitian gangbanger with 17 prior convictions. And Fox's Bill Malugin spent the night embedded with ICE operations in the Boston area as they grounded up all these criminals.
An MS-13 gang member wanted in El Salvador for aggravated murder.
And he has an Interpol red notice out for his arrest. This illegal alien from Brazil, who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien, charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction. This Dominican illegal alien, charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking.
Joining me now is Fox's national correspondent, Bill Malugin. Bill, quite an adventure you had, and I understand that one of the arrested illegals had just been released from custody the day before. What do you know?
Yeah, he's a MS-13 gang member from Guatemala who was locked up on local gun charges out here. The day before our embed, ICE Boston tells us the locals released him, ignored their detainer request, so he was back out on the street. So what happened was ICE found him in an apartment building yesterday. They went in and arrested him, but they found him with a friend or an acquaintance or another guy who had nothing to do with what ICE was going after. But ICE arrested him anyways because when they encountered him, they ran his fingerprints and they found out he was a previously deported illegal immigrant as well. So that's what's known as collateral, Laura, and that's what Tom Homan has been warning about, telling these sanctuary cities, if you don't hand these people over to us and you just let them back out into the community, we're going to have to go in, we're going to go find them, and if we find them with other people who aren't our targets and they're in the U.S. illegally, we're going to take them too. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. Sanctuary policy out here caused that MS-13 gang member's friend or acquaintance to also get arrested by ICE. Now they're both going to get deported.
Yeah, ICE is coming. And what was the reaction, Bill, if you got any from some of the residents in these communities?
It was interesting. Most of the time, people are just kind of like peeking out their windows watching it happen. But on the arrest of that Dominican illegal alien, the alleged heroin trafficker with the assault with a deadly weapon charge, a woman actually came up to ICE and told them, thank you for arresting him. She clearly didn't have a good experience with that guy, or for whatever reason wanted to thank the officers, and the officers responded and said, you're welcome. So just goes to show, even out here in Boston in the sanctuary area, there are locals out here who do appreciate what ICE is doing and have obviously had issues with some of these bad apples that ICE is going after.
Well, one of the things that people kept asking today, and I knew you would have an answer, is how is it possible that these individuals with such long records, with violent records, whether it's assault or rape or sexual assault, drug trafficking, they were just freely going about their business in the community, doing God knows what, but it couldn't have been good.
You know what? I ask ICE that exact same question. When I see some of these rap sheets like aggravated child rape, rapes, attempted murders, I ask them, okay, how are these people on the street in the first place for you guys to go after? Like, who's releasing these people? And they all just give me the same answer. That's Massachusetts for you. That's Massachusetts for you. Like, these severe crimes, they get really low bails, so they're just let out, and then they ignore ICE's detainer request. So, I mean, if you just go on ICE Boston's press release website every day, like, they're getting these horrible arrests every single day. Child rape, sexual assault, murder, fentanyl trafficking, and it just makes your jaw hit the floor because all these people are out on the street free, and the locals just won't cooperate with ICE. It's mind-boggling.
Well, I mean, again, if the people of Massachusetts, this is the state they want, and this is the situation they want, then they're going to have to make decisions when it comes to vote. And I guess they can keep doing it, but it seems like this is, so far, a really popular move by Trump and ICE. Bill, thank you for getting in there and reporting for us. We really appreciate it. And Trump's crackdown, as we see, again, already showing huge successes. Fox Digital is reporting that illegal crossings at the southern border have dropped like a rock. Crossings during the first 3 days of the Trump administration are now 35% lower than the final 3 days of the open borders Biden administration. Of course, we can't sit back, rest on our laurels, because your tax dollars are still being used to help fund mass migration. Now, according to Todd Bensman at the Center for Immigration Studies, the UN and NGOs, non-governmental organizations, have directed billions of mostly U.S. tax dollars into supporting millions of illegal southern border trips. The large conglomerate, made up of more than 200 UN agencies and NGOs, already has an idea of how they want to spend your cash for this year. Check it out. They want to spend $1.4 billion to support 2.3 million foreign nationals traveling through to the United States through 17 Latin American countries. Joining me now is Todd Bensman, Senior National Security Fellow for the CIS. Todd, now, again, people watching this going, whoa, 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 what is this NGO-UN collaboration, and how does it involve us? Really quickly explain it.
This has been going on for 4 or 5 years straight now, at least $6 billion, a very close collaborative partnership between the Biden-Harris State Department and those 230 NGOs and 15 UN agencies to send hundreds of millions of U.S. tax dollars to migrants on the trail, helping them sustain them in their northward trek.
I'm going to go and watch my weather. You guys please like and sub, and I will be back, bros.